But they're not going to be coming into this underestimating a team like FPX.
No, certainly not. Magnum quoted in the press conference saying, "It's Valorant, anyone can lose." Here we go then, into the pistol round, and Karmine Corp had 3 players up towards A. Anticipating this space control perhaps, but FPX are not committed with it.
Not quite. Flash to clear with the Dizzy, all combined up. That's going to be the dash active now for Marteen. Using that in the response of it, but there's no go button pressed here for FPX. Keen to just wait this one out on the opposite side of the map. Autumn went poking around, and he managed to catch tomaszy. Good opening here. I mean, it does open up the B side entirely. A repeat from Live. He's got the heal online, but Marteen returns with the kill. Nice trade.
Lysoar didn't buy the orb in this round, so having to use the wall in order to escape there, that means there's going to be no wall placed down over towards B. So Karmine Corp are going to have opportunities to try to deny this plant, though they are players down.
That's true with the paranoia here, FPX. The sight lines blocked off.
Now look at this, the Omen smokes are lovely for them to take more aggressive positions on site.
Karmine Corp all up towards Kitchen, doubled up here, but just picking and choosing their battles at the right time.
They have no idea.
They have no idea where they're being shot from. Through the grates here, 1 player left standing, it's Lysoar. We'll see what they can do. Snake bites, at least 1 connection, but the wall's up in their face. They've got to really just get a move on as well, wrapping all the way around here. Shin sticking the defuse here for the pistol round. It's all Karmine Corp.
And that's the power of that retake. It's what the devs were talking about. Karmine Corp look so good in those kind of situations, but really, the retake wasn't even where the danger was averted for FPX. It was the fact that Magnum was able to pick off 2 from this angle. I mean,
yeah, looking all over the place.
Autumn is completely lost.
On us with them.
And this is where you might start to see the cracks in FPX, because they've talked about the fact that the language barrier has been an issue for them, a really big one in the past. Berlin said in the press conference he's having to repeat the communications twice a lot of the time in English and in Chinese so that everybody on the team's on the same page. That's going to introduce delays, and it was an unusual position anyway for Magnum to be taking that fight.
The pistol round secured, deep Omen smoke. Magnum has to body check a lot of this space, really. There was some danger there, but clears out towards mid, knowing that nobody's lurking.
And those lurks are going to be a pretty important part of how FPX creates threats on the attack side. Smokes from Lysoar and Berlin need to be dealt with. And sometimes that's going to require face checking, and when there's opponents hiding inside smokes, that's a great way for teams to get upset wins.
Yeah, here we go. Offloading the util here with the Dizzy. Play's not been pushed off from the backwards positions, though, out towards the back and aside. It's a nasty and messy spray. No kills collected there, but only just for life here with the heal online. But now reinforcements are here, finally arriving. Multitudes of targets to pick from, but really Karmine Corp coming up green in the kill feed.
Blue, surely.
I mean, well, okay.
Some kind of teal.
It's a teal. You could make the argument.
Yeah, easy cleanup despite it looking a little laboured there from the right early on. And now FPX, first round where they can do some serious damage after the pistol. 5 Vandals facing off against KC, who have 3 Bulldogs online as well.
Turret out.
Clear weaponry advantage for FPX, especially down these longer angles, so they might want to take over towards B. And defaulting the Viper wall, A, at the start of this round. Not quite the same as they did on the pistol, because this time we've got that Viper orb coming down mid too.
Does have that threat of potentially working their way through into mid. Cool, lovely. Would love to set their sights onto a bonus round conversion. As you said, longer fights to be taken with the rifles of FPX, and they're cautious just at the beginning initially here. Don't want to run into things. Omen smoke now propped up, will divide up the site and allow them to start to take a bit more of that space once they clear through the appropriate positions. But we're almost down to a minute on the clock.
And they haven't created too many threats in mid either.
Almost betrayed there by the ponytail, but Shin gets away with it.
And Berlin, with nobody there to try to support, the IGL gets picked off with no advantage, no possibility of a trade, no information even as to where Shin and Marteen could have repositioned to. As FPX come back in here, they're going to have to use these flashes, the Dizzy, just to try to figure out where those players on defensive A would have gone.
And it orchestrates kind of exactly where these FPX players are going. Now it really does feel like it's going to be landing into an A hit. Shin,
it's great timing on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, for the precisely right moment. Right? Flash over the top. It's going to be going straight through the gap at the top there. Good connection. Marteen willing to take the fight. The transfer damage done, but no kill. In fact, that's all life here, just leading the charge for the rest of his team. Is there only going to be clean up onto Shin eventually?
Very weak.
12 seconds, and yeah, life is weak. Pops the ult off. Might be able to get something going with this one. At least needs one more kill for it. Nobody watching.
Magnum
there it
got
is.
ulted.
Geared back up. Needs to get the plan down. 4 seconds. Taps. Taps. Forcing into the 1v1. It's the only win condition for life, and time is born and played. Frantic in the minute moments. I mean, minutia making a difference there.
That's a wild one for FPX to not convert, honestly. The spray from Marteen was really labored, a little similar to Narrate when we saw him with the Bulldog in round 2.
10 seconds left.
But how Magnum gets past there without Life being able to get the kill. Life whiffing on the spray means that Autumn goes down. And Life unable to convert in the 1v1 as well. He decided to go for that, the duel instead of just sticking the plant. That's a tragedy for FPX early on.
Back to me.
Knocks the economy down a peg or two, so going to be working with some weaker weaponry. Life's going to be after making the most, I think, of this Guardian purchase.
It looks fairly explosive here over towards B. And having that ult online, it would be a really large investment early on before you've managed to create a pick for yourself.
Smoke's finally back online now to cut off sections onto the site. Snake bites and mollies just in case they want to press the advantage and push towards the back of the site. But it's just being held for control here. Karmine Corp happy to play this retake.
A lot of focus being put on that angle where Magnum managed to pick up 2 on the pistol. A weak spot, perhaps.
We'll see now. There's Wingman. That's going to be spotting out a player or two. Berlin. Let's get the initial kill, but not enough to get the follow-up here. But down below the bridge, where's the expectation of it? Narrate, he was dropping down, but not enough bullets in the clip to really finish him off. 3v3 shots, Life regaining the advantage potentially there. It's traded back and forth. It's Narrate versus AAAAY. Narrate comes up with the goods. Rifle in his hands to get the job done.
And plenty of time left on the clock too. That one had danger in it. It absolutely did. But Karmine Corp still managed to forge their way up to 4. FPX deciding not to invest Ayoung's ultimate into that round, where perhaps, you know, it could have made the difference. It did end up being fairly close. Frankly, if Autumn even gets that kill, the round is looking really dodgy.
Remaining.
I gotta say, while Karmine Corp are up 4-0 here, this is not the same level of clinical play that we saw from them in EMEA when they were making that run. There's a lot of conversation about, because we've seen so many unexpected teams make it to Masters Madrid, with so many rookie players as well ascending to this premier level of the game, are people going to adapt to the stage quickly? If you have some nerves, how do you play through it? It feels like it's a little touch and go at the moment for Karmine Corp, but enough to be able to get them over the line in these rounds. And similar nerves on the other side for FPX. You've got to remember, FPX are a team, this is their 3rd time getting to a global event. They've only ever been able to take 1 map at a global event before, and that was against the old Karmine Corp when they played first time at Lock-In. It was a 2-1 victory in favor of Karmine Corp, and that was the old, you know, Melons lineup. That wasn't the Madrid clean, clinical Karmine Corp that we've come to expect after their running kickoff.
It's well-honed squad, and you know, to just touch on that rookie point as well, you know, maybe that inexperience rearing its head for some of the players. Karmine Corp looking like one of the youngest rosters I think that we've got coming into Madrid.
They are, yeah.
Maybe that does showcase. Of course, some of them do have that international experience.
They do, and you know, you see Magnum up there towards the top, managed to find that hole in the pistol round and has been very consistent so far on the defense side for his team. So we get to see another rifle round here, starting to get up towards some big ultimates too. Narrate and Magnum's ults in particular going to be excellent on the retake as Narrate takes first contact and wants to hunt for more.
He's not scared, is he?
No, Shin was holding up towards the belt, so he had angles covered. Marteen's crosshair placement looked like it might have been off for just a moment as Ayoung's head poking below, but I don't believe they caught any whiff of the jet stuck in that corner. I say stuck, hiding.
He's got the
starting
dash,
a
of course,
trap.
to get out. Yeah, it's a lovely position to play in. FPX quite like what they were seeing just from cutting the noise there. They show a bit of that presence just initially, now making their way over towards B. contact reclear, is that what's going to be called here?
Certainly looks like it. The same kind of B end with that double omen smoke setup that we've seen from FPX in a few rounds so far.
All the util combined together. Unfortunate for Life Day. Will fall just through the smoke as it was propped up. Bloomed and blossomed, but FPX keen to still play this one. Maybe a bit more aggressively as well. Look at the position of some of these players. Berlin taking a peek out towards Kitchen. Expected though. Now you see it. Thrash exchanged. Dropping down onto either side. Detainment potentially there. Looks like it, yeah. Berlin. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And now positioning, being swarmed and approached from every possible angle. Lysoar realizing now that really has to give it up. Wasn't that mid position. He was the insurance policy, but now has to save that rifle.
Gutting as Karmine Corp get up to 5. Absolutely putting away FPX. This is looking like they've got a very good idea of how they want to deal with this classic exec that we're seeing from FPX. Nobody is getting caught on sight. tomaszy is just getting a kill by spamming a common angle where he's expecting them to be pushing up, defending that over push into Snowman and making sure that they have the pieces together to be able to get back in onto site. FPX are finding it difficult here to force the fight. It's one of the big powers of their composition is the ability to combo flashes together. And they're not really finding an opportunity to do that because Karmine Corp are playing so much further back.
Initial expenditure of util, but they are playing really far back. I mean, that's just the retake protocols.
Get out of my way.
Desk was mentioning it. It's super, super well drilled for Karmine Corp.
Yeah.
The bread and butter really of, you know, what was getting them so many of the wins because they were looking so well honed.
And there's always a little bit of danger when you allow your opponents to plant against you so often that you wouldn't be able to pull it off. You know, most teams, even the great ones, are only converting something like, you know, a third of their retakes. But these teams at this event are looking to try to change that. So this makes it feel like it's something similar over towards B, but it's not a full commitment.
No, in fact, they haven't used both the smokes. I mean, Berlin hasn't locked off the angle, so they're getting information the entire time. Magnum has just been egoing the angle on B.
And marteen, ready, waiting, not spotted in this position before.
Be able to receive this. Now, Dizzy wasn't collected over towards B to clear it, so they don't even have that util to clear this angle. Up top, though, yeah, crosshair placement. You've got to take a gamble if you play in that spot. It could come from two different directions, so gambling incorrectly there. Life is the one to capitalize.
Magnum, though, still with ultimate. How does FPX deal with that?
They're down with a wingman, clears out a bit of the site. Now the plan online, but here's the lockdown.
Oh, yeah, denied from even going for that.
They can't go for the plan. Time. They have to fight this one. FPX have to make a call to do so, but now detainment, it's going to be happening anytime soon. This is a round basically done and dusted. Online there with a res. Magnum back into the fight, 3 versus 3, but with time like this, I mean, there's just no chance. You have to kill everybody. It's not there for FPX.
And a complete tactical outplay there by KC. They're thinking ahead to, in terms of the ultimates that they have available, it's very clear that that lockdown is going to get used. And FPX didn't come up with a game plan quickly enough to try to challenge it before it went down, didn't have a game plan to try to increase the tempo, and I think we're just expecting to get the plant for free. They're thinking, all right, KC, they've been playing retake this entire time. They're just going to use lockdown, we're going to be able to play the plant. And Aeon could not get that spike down.
Yeah. I love to see this.
The overall game plan of Karmine Corp just fundamentally is fantastic as well. They've been playing super far back on B, almost conditioning that they've got nobody playing towards B main or towards yellow whatsoever, and then they're playing these one-and-done angles towards A. I mean, yes, marteen ended up falling, but they've just been doing such a fantastic job. And like you said, you know, too delayed in terms of just thinking about the game plans. Karmine Corp one step ahead.
This is also the second timeout for FPX, called already. So if we, you know, framing this in the context of FPX trying to get this revenge matchup against a Karmine Corp that's retooled so heavily, looking for a potential good beginning to Madrid, this is a disaster. They had their chances early on in some of these rounds, but the later that this is going, the less and less chance it looks like they're getting as Karmine Corp polish things up a little and get comfortable, get into the groove. Down 0-6 without any timeouts remaining. If they don't end up winning this rifle round that we're about to watch, it's a disaster zone.
That could be dire.
I mean, they are quite literally running their heads into a brick blue wall right now. They cannot find a way through.
Now, are they going to get conditioned? You can see elements of it from Karmine. Again, like I was saying before, they weren't playing anybody up close towards B. They've got marteen with an op now. He's playing in this spot. Karmine, I think, are hoping now that FPX make the decision to start contacting into B. Dizzy broken. Marteen can now play onto the angle. It's watched, but the shot missed and go to wide.
But they haven't heard the dash. They know that marteen has not left that in a hurry. There they hear the shot from the operator, and marteen's going to bait that out, make it feel like he's still there, and try to rotate, to anticipate this attack side rotate that Berlin is calling.
Yeah, and he is. He's already called it for the rotation. The troops on the move. And guess what, marteen? Again, one step ahead. Like you said, still has the dash in his back pocket. Didn't end up using it to escape.
A lot of flashes that he has to dodge here, though. Leah, Dizzy, both broken. Narrate with a pick.
I mean, Narrate just back towards rafters there. Dizzy also returning as well, getting the acknowledgement that his play is there. Now there's 45 seconds left. Could pivot into a different direction if you want to, but FPX looking a bit indecisive. Just a pause in the play. Now the paranoia. Sent flying here, but again, no connections. Marteen towards the back. Trying to go wide here with a Dizzy. Narrate is on one, man. He's on one. Almost there for the ace, but 4 kills eventually shut down in the end, but 7-0. The scoreline we're looking like. The round differential is immense right now, and you're truly seeing it. I mean, we said on paper it was going to look like one of our more one-sided matchups, but Karmine, in almost just every element of the game right now, they're ahead of it.
And they're destroying them. Kakuga said on the desk, trying to break the Leah and the Dizzy in one go. Narrate's like, yeah, bet. Just rinses them both before FPX can use them to get into the site, and then swings around for 4 kills afterwards. FPX are getting pasted. And I think it's a really interesting idea, right? This is one of our most one-sided matchups you could possibly see at the tournament on paper. But what does the parity look like? Everybody was saying, you know, anyone can win Madrid. There are chances for even these teams to be able to make upsets.
Even Magnum himself, you know, coming into this, they're not going to make a mistake with prior teams. You know, maybe they turn up to these international tournaments, they expect to have a freebie, an opening match that just is so one-sided, but Karmine still showing him respect.
Absolutely. Yeah, Magnum said, quote, if I had to rate FPX in terms of macro, I think they have a lot of gaps. And then he said, but it's Valorant. Anyone can lose. Marteen under pressure, though.
Yep, Dizzy in his face, though. It does fade away. He's just absolutely caught a timing still. Autumn will shut down a counterpart. Damage done, but no kill collected. Smokes at some point surely going to be fading. How are they going to get this spike down? They really don't have any options or tools, but there we go.
That's a huge one.
Yep, a gap available with that op drop down. Autumn picks it up, acquiring that upgrade. Now we can really just see if he can hunt for any more sort of kills. Now this is a player advantage for FPX. Question is now, how do Karmine approach it? Dizzy, round to the back along with the molly. Players all over the place. Thrash to lead the charge. Entertainment there. Shin round to the side, but doesn't expect Berlin. And there it is. Okay, a round on the board for FPX. Thrifty win.
And that one basically set up by Autumn getting into a nice spot. Marteen has been caught out in a number of these more aggressive positions. And this is the opening. He had a chance trying to take the timing, but then Autumn also finding this pick onto tomaszy over in Snowman. That sets up the player advantage, and FPX are finally able to capitalize and bring around to themselves. Can they work this into a little bit of momentum and make it less of a one-sided matchup?
They would love to. Now, back into the action, you're seeing it. Line in the sand drawn in terms of the skirmish.
Berlin has the operator.
The operator, yeah. I mean, he's TP close.
Yeah, of course your IGL Omen has the op. Angel emote.
Now an attempt for them to try and get themselves into the side wall. Definitely impeding them. Dash to the top here. Dizzy in their faces. Everybody not able to see really anything at all, but FPX granted the site now. So plants online for them. A forward position here, playing inside the pit. This is really going to test Karmine once more, especially with Autumn ripping off heads. Towards the back of the site, just really impossible to clear this through. And here it is, momentum on the side of FPX. This is basically a done deal into the round. Look at it, second one on the board. Now maybe you can start to keep this going.
That's huge. Didn't even have to use all of the ultimates at their disposal. still have the Thrash available for them in the next. And FPX using the pit to be able to establish much more aggressive post-plant positions, put pressure on KC before they can get into retake spots. Look, Narrate's just flooding out heaven there thinking, yeah, they're going to give us this space for free. That's what they've done every other time. And FPX have brought the battle to them. Amazingly enough, those 2 rounds have actually been enough to knock down the economy of Karmine Corp. So we're not seeing a full buy here.
I think the money would be flourishing, but instead, okay. At least Marteen has a rifle.
Here.
Really quite aggressive into mid.
Very aggressive. But Marteen hasn't been able to do too much from these extremely aggressive positions. He's the danger in the round. The rest of KC mostly playing for a little bit of plant pressure and then the retake. Marteen's been the dice that they roll to see whether he can find value. And this time, just missing the timing of FPX, who've all gone into B.
Clear and Dizzy all comboed up. Smokes to get himself into the deeper angle. Autumn, he's here this time. Not using that second smoke to block off this one. Autumn, he's got the operator. Aiming to lock this one down. 2 potential positions. Shin, he's taking out Berlin. Now Berlin's been playing in that angle all the time, honestly. Most of the time.
Yeah, and it's a spot where Autumn can't actually hold for Berlin to get into position. It's a bit of a freebie there, actually. Karmine Corp giving it. That's decent damage there, actually.
Yeah, diligence being shown with the util to clear through most of this.
KC have a wall to work with, but there's a Thrash on the other side. Marteen, what a peek.
What a return! AAAAY goes straight there. And here it is with a spray down of life. War can't save you from that one.
Great awareness from Life. Adapting to what Karmine Corp have been doing, making sure that he's in a position where he's still going to be able to get picks over the top of the wall. FPX holding on in these post-ban situations. I mean, AAAAY is like lining up a shot with Marteen and tomashy's right behind. FPX going from 0-7 to winning 3 rounds in a row with the potential to make this quite a competitive half.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it. You would not think it if you were only tuning in for the beginning, but they have the chance. Slow orb. Used here, Shin feeling the danger now. The heat turned up. That isn't okay. Slow orb. Don't think it was intended for that one. Molly's being used. Snakebite here close, and there it is. Actually, that bouncing into that wrong angle. Marteen can't evacuate. Can he stand his ground? Can he hold it down? The answer is no.
And that's probably going to incentivize Narrate to try to make a play here instead of just playing for the player down retake. We get to see now. Do they trust the system? Do they try to go for the hero play?
Man down here, Snakebite forwards, Life. Tucking behind the box, out into the open though. Has to just spank on the rest of his teammates. Lovely movement from AAAAY. Magnum. Nasty stuff! Oh my! Almost making a go of it.
So close! And Berlin, the player with the up in hand, goes for the rifle to win the 1v1 at the end and keep this momentum going for FPX. KC making a good job of it despite the fact that they were down players. But this opening play as Shin swings to try to relieve pressure from Marteen. Marteen can't quite get enough kills to help. Final round of the half here, and KC are going to be knocked down to 4 Bulldogs. There is a great chance that FPX get up to 5 and rewrite this terrible beginning they had to Icebox.
That's just insanity.
The pick got popped down over towards B. No immediate pressure. So tomaszy might think that the rest of FPX are looking to work down mid or over towards A. Marteen once again alone on A. Tucking himself into these aggressive, unexpected positions. But generally, FPX have been able to either dodge or deal with it. It's slow and somewhat ponderous, though, for FPX in the first 40 seconds of this round. Now they're making a commitment to deal with some of Magnum's utility in mid and create threats and pressure around. A leg.
Oh, it's betrayal. And there it is, sets up Autumn for an easy one.
No possibility of that being rezzed.
It's now being offloaded. Dash towards of Autumn. Top of the box, just spotting. Head of Shin, unable to rip that one off, but Berlin's caught into the mid flank.
And now the ult online. Magnum has that retake ultimate that caused so much pressure for FPX previously.
Could be opting to use this as a really forward backside position. FPX are trying to fight this one. Then they realize, at least now that the lockdown is down, but do they have any util to try and fight this one and clear it out and through? They don't need util, man. They got guns and weaponry still locked down. Didn't get broken. 1v2. Plays out a dodge here from FPX, so the positioning is going to be known and noted. Narrate, how do you hit that into the 1v1? Wingman, exactly the partner in crime that you'd want, at least taps out of position, trying to force Life out into the open, but it's a guessing game for Narrate entirely, doesn't know where he is, and Life playing time immaculately. It's 7-5, and how the bloody hell did FPX salvage that?
What a ridiculous comeback. We were all ready to talk about how it was playing out as expected on paper, and then FPX fire back with 5 in a row.
One enemy remaining.
And a lot to do with the rifling coming online. I feel like AAAAY has just woken up.
Go on, look at me, bro. Let's go.
They're fired up. They're feeling it. Life on his feet.
They certainly are. Let's send it down to the analyst desk to break it down for the half.
Thank you very much, guys. What a great half that was. A nice comeback from FPX, but Kakuka, it all started with a great chain of rounds coming from Casey.
Yeah, exactly, and it was a perfect example of what we were discussing, right? Those retakes coming in, the protocols being completely sharp up, coming in from Casey. I think that round 5 is a perfect example of it, when we would see the exchange of the ultimates from Gecko, and they know exactly where to put the pressure and how to address everything that is going on in the map by the positions that they expect the other players to be in. The follow-up from each of the players, it's clean, but then after those 7 rounds, something changes in FPX maybe.
And for FPX, I think the adaptation was really good. In these post plants, once they got that spike down, once they got that space, they were using that second dizzy refresh to fight forward and get space in these late rounds and really punish KC while they were still setting up, getting their util in hand. That's the X factor of this team. They will sometimes pull out these hyper-aggressive rounds where they stop you from setting up the way you want to play. It was really good on that comeback.
I think it was a little bit of both, right? We have a Casey that maybe is getting too comfortable because everything is working, and an FPX that, you know, starts making a little bit of mistakes. We see, you know, the flashes being a little bit separated one from another, but then when they realize that they just have to disrupt that and just keep pushing a little bit more, that changes. Now, coming into their defense, as I said, it's very complicated to defend this map without a sentinel. The aggression has to be there. FPX is very known for that, and they have to keep it up if they want to keep that score up.
It absolutely does, but if KC wants to close this map out, they have the fans to do so in this arena right now. There's not a huge amount of fans out on day 1, but every single KC fan feels like 10 of them.
Yeah, shout out to the Gentlemates fan as well in the Gentlemates jersey, but this blue wall, it is looking so strong, but I'm going to send this back to the casters and see if Casey can close this one out.
We'll see if they can close it out, but listen, FPX, kind of momentum behind them as well. All it takes is a pistol round. You've got an even match, at least an even map. And this is a team, and I mean, a reminder, I think this is an FPX squad that's got a bit of a chip on their shoulders from the previous international appearances. They want to turn up to this event, and they want to really prove as well that teams should be paying attention to them. They want to teach teams how it's done. They've literally said that themselves. For Karmine Corp, left reeling a little bit, I think, as well, off that string of rounds, but we'll see. It's a new half now, getting started with a pistol.
And it looks like there might be a clash of B main to begin this one very quickly. It's an unusual spot to fight over. Not too many teams trying to fight this area aggressively. But FPX have got a pistol round strat that involves them pushing down mid off the back of this pressure.
Yeah, the Viper Wars.
They've actually
so
abandoned it
chaos.
very early though, Brent.
I mean, the Dizzy, surely you collect the kills. Berlin gets 3.
That's wild.
Get the hell out of here. Dealing with the util single-handedly. I mean, a man was basically alone. And now, how do you clear this one out? Lysoar to the side, lovely peek, off with the Dizzy. That is a slam dunk finish.
I don't want to hear any more about the blue wall. Tell me about the Berlin wall. That's ridiculous. I mean, how has he managed to pick up 3 there? That protocol of jumping through the one-way, I think is a really nice idea. First player jumps through, drags the crosshair is the game plan. Perhaps doesn't quite drag it far enough in that situation because they're swinging almost exactly into Berlin's crosshair. It just worked so well. Bottom of the scoreboard and comes out like that on the pistol. That's what you're saying, Brent. It only takes that 1 round.
They are being swamped in this position. Lysoar doesn't know which way to look. Teammate hammers it back. Okay, traded. 3 versus 3, equalized here. Dash forward to the peak, AAAAY.
They want to get aggressive and defend these weapons, I think. But Karmine aren't even going for them.
No, not quite. Wall up onto the high ground, really just props up tomaszy for an easy peek.
Spike planted.
Easy kill for AAAAY. Autumn there. Can't quite land the shots there with a Marshall, but finally a bit of damage done to the body. 100 left, 1 player left standing. It's Marteen. the plant down, but this is a really difficult situation to try and win. And there it is, spam damage and the flank attempt there.
Very surprised that Karmine Corp played that round so quickly after they got themselves into a 3v3. If they'd slowed things down, I believe there were 2 Bulldogs lying around for them to be able to try and pick up and use. But they got roped into the pace of that, and then all of the danger just kind of trickled away. See how Young deals with that boost play. It's quite a nice idea from Karmine Corp, but something we've seen a lot from these Sage teams. And you wouldn't have believed it if you only watched the first 7 rounds, but 7 in a row, straight back for FPX, means the game is tied here on Icebox.
He's set up now onto the bonus round. 2 players survived in a prior round here for FPX, so there's not too much danger, but guess what? The Avengers are bloody here. I mean, listen, the amount of players they've got trying to play that 4 position, belt not really accounted for. It's a high-low setup. They are really mopping up the rest of these players. An attempt by Life, repositions, but just out into the open. It's all being watched for. Cheeky idea, I do respect it.
I love the idea. But FPX take a gamble, shove 4 players in, and KC, that discipline that we were seeing from them all throughout EMEA, I think that's the first round where you really see it exemplified here in Icebox. All down to 1. Looks almost impossible.
Yeah, so it's just going to be looking to do that.
Surely,
damage.
Surely here the streaks are broken. We don't see another 7 in a row for KC, right? It's not even possible.
It's really not. I mean, at that point.
You end the map 14-7?
Yeah, dusted. Maybe we get them to skirt the rules. We'll do first to 16.
FPX, though, really have shown that they're not willing to just roll over in these kind of games, especially when they're pushed. I mean, they certainly come into this one as the underdogs, but I had a chance to talk to Berlin before, these games kicked off. And I asked him, how much better do you think this version of FPX is compared to last year's? If you were following this team in 2023, okay, they looked all right. They were making it to some of the international events. Since then, they've added Life, who's up towards the top of the scoreboard for them here. He's been a big player for them. And Berlin said 2.5 times better.
It's very precise.
I don't know where he quite got that from, but he's a lot more confident this year than he was in the last, when they were only able to get 1 map at 2 global appearances.
They've run the numbers. 2.5 times, maybe enough to try and take it against them. That's a cheeky play.
Cool idea.
All to boost themselves up. Berlin, no. Deals with the trespasser in through mid. And well, there is the follow-up. AAAAY watching it for any sort of passerbys. Only 3 players now left standing for Karmine Corp.
Looks like a read to me that they were expecting Berlin to be playing B. Both of those controller players for FPX fighting over B. They baited out Lysoar there, who swung off the back of a paranoia that was extremely optimistic.
They are so damn aggressive, though.
Willing to take the risks, aren't they? I mean, AAAAY has just walked up all the way behind. And all of this in a player advantage situation where you don't need to force fights like this. It's a round winning or losing play, probably, that AAAAY and Life have gone for. Karmine Corp are well and truly trapped here. Though I don't believe they know it yet.
No indicator.
Here.
Contacting together. Opened at the gunplay, can carry them through a round like this one. Looking behind them, but no, not to the side, not expecting a player out towards Yellow's Berlin. Still not cleaned up. Spike, though, planted. 2 players, though, for them. Flash over the top, marteen. How's he doing this, man? No way to Karmine Corp find that.
That's outrageous. FPX had them cornered, caged up, no exits. Utility being used from the back as well. And marteen ducks, bobs, weaves, and picks up 3.
You are joking.
How have they done that? I mean, the first pick, lovely. But then this kill before getting the dizzy, and then a jump push into the...
Stand up now!
All right, a bit of fire with these Karmine Corp players in their first time on the Big Masters stage.
Getting heated. Stack, though, from the FPX players here. Ball is made to refight. What a shot. Still aggression showcased here by marteen. His teammates are going to be there with him. Got his back. Live. What?
You see KC have no idea that that was going to happen.
Even a possibility. Yeah. Just no idea at all.
They didn't even think of that as a timing that FPX could have chosen for some aggression. You can see how the unexpected nature of how FPX plays can catch teams off guard. But thus far, Marteen in the last round and this has managed to bail his team out.
Berlin, knives out, no gun. Watching for the mid-aggression.
And AAAAY, they should have some idea, was over towards A earlier on. That Dizzy was used. His shooting's been fairly good. The most likely outcome here is that he just goes down and gets the thrash online for the next. This game has been so streaky. There's only 30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
I don't see how he's able to convert. And KC are going to be able to respond with 3 in a row after FPX got 7 to tie it up. Now, would you refer to this one as a back and forth game, Bren? Because technically, it's gone back, and then it went forth, and now it's going back again.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. By the technical definition.
Yeah, but it really has not been competitive in the like round-to-round basis.
No, no.
Very streaky.
Very, very streaky.
Autumn's going to get an op online and try to peek under tube by the look of things. Would anticipate him just getting smoked off by tomaszy very early on, but we'll see.
Yeah,
He
there's
gets
an early
the
pick. Wow, okay. tomaszy, thrash. Used to see if they can clear and cleave their way in through B main. AAAAY, he's open to the window here. Lurk timing could be brutal. Lurk timing could be brutal. Spots the head. Spots the head. Magnum. He's racing ahead, man. Doesn't want anything to do with this. Look at him. Ducking straight into the floor. Maybe anticipating a repeat, but no, he's backing it away. In the meantime.
Yeah, speaking about repeaks, Berlin in a player advantage situation again. FPX deciding to try to make the play to win the round. Unnecessary, for sure. And Berlin does get punished for it.
Res on life for Shin. He's going to play for this one. Portion of the wall broken, but that's all good.
Yeah, thankfully.
All good.
Thankfully, Autumn wasn't watching that again.
There's only 45 seconds left. Walking their way over towards A. Starting to get a move on, though. What util do they have to try and clear close? They are, I think, quite scared of the prospect that life could be just in a one and done. Especially when he's playing Reyna. Does he see the head just onto belt there? Looks unlikely. Orb in his face.
30 seconds left.
Players approaching rapidly on the position. It's a double face as the orb goes down.
Only 20 seconds left here. No real utility as far as I can see for FPX to deny this one. Magnum is really far behind and has missed the timing.
Yeah, he has, but he's going to be making a call at least for his team here. Over to Bison time. Really wide face by Narrate. Claiming it. He's feeling it, man. It's 4 around for him, and this time Karmine are not messing around.
This is another situation where KC lost players early on in the round. They weren't expecting the op to be on that sight line. It is entirely possible for the Viper to throw that mid lineup without exposing any part of their body. But Autumn caught tomaszy at the beginning of the round, and Berlin ended up making a mistake when they were up, and it just opened the door for Narrate to take over. Narrate for Karmine, one of the North American imports over to EMEA, has been lighting the world up. He's been looking unbelievably good, but certainly one of those players that we don't know quite how they're going to perform when it gets to the Masters stage. Are the nerves going to be there? And Berlin goes walkabouts again in this round.
They just expect it. It's happened so many times now. They were doubled up. I mean, basically a high-low setup. One player crouched in front of the other.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the aggression.
Yeah, and it's very, very similar to what Berlin did in the previous round to lose them that player advantage situation. FPX have got to be careful. They've clearly got what it takes to be able to bring the game to Karmine Corp. But this is giving me flashbacks of the finals they played in VCT, where they arguably should have beaten EDG, and they let so many of those advantages slip through their fingers. Here comes AAAAY with the play again.
He's got a flash out in his hand, still gets one kill. Maybe setting up Autumn for a bit of success, but no, everybody cleaned up. Karmine Corp live and kicking with 3 of their players. Just got to try and hunt out where is life. Heals up now, not letting anything slip. Thrash there, connects, detained. Humiliation time on the grand stage as Karmine Corp are up to 12.
For our first knife kill of Masters Madrid. Do they really count when you've got the thrash detain on them? I think it is the disrespect.
Yeah, I think they shouldn't personally. Don't think we should be recording those in the stats, but
Yeah, this is very well dealt with by KC. You can still see some moments where they're not quite anticipating what FPX are going to go for, but for the majority, they have got this on lock. The anticipation of Berlin's push at the beginning of that round and the way they executed was immaculate. They're looking for that punish again onto tomaszy. It's not there.
Not gonna get it.
Yeah, this time playing a little safer, doubling up with Magnum as well. KC 1 round away, 5 chances of converting. Keep it clean.
It's gonna be their aim. Tuck to the corner, that's life, avoiding the initial flash across from the ropes. Accurate enough to win that fight out, but dismiss in towards the back now. Underneath rafters, plenty more players ready to try and fight him. Target-rich environment. Take your pick, take your time, son, because this is you lighting the world on fire. Live with the ace. Holy.
And he's on his feet after that one too. If the KC players are trying to keep him rooted in that seat, they've well and truly failed in round 20.
He's dropped 24 kills.
I mean, he's the only player that's actually able to evade the way that KC are playing, because he can get one, get out, and pick the most awkward timings through all of their utility.
Springs out of his seat, almost knocking it off the stage.
Feeling it, definitely feeling it. Back into the fight. Back into the action. Karmine Corp, slow and steady. It's their approach to begin. They know how aggressively FPX are liking to play, and they do have both the duelist players. Dash still available, dismiss there if life gets a kill. Lots of exit strategies, but here we look at this. I mean, they're just holding. 4, it's still life claims it.
He's on fire. Barely a shred of Narade poking out. Still manages to catch the headshot. Magnum's one away from having a massive ultimate, and they're sneaking around underneath them. Life goes for the re-clear.
It's a dizzy, still, it's traded. Magnum is there. On for the 2 there. Hang drops down, Dash is there. Marteen finds it. Forwards now. After the lockdown, it's 2v2. This could be it to seal the map. What is going to be the answer from FPX?
Walking out.
Holding, walking out, hoping that they can punish, but no. Just granted the kill. And Berlin, the IGL, it's a 1v2.
Cover going out.
All on the line to keep his team in the map. Paranoia available. Smoke's still there, wants to walk though, doubled up, they're dominating the position. If he chooses to just peek ever so slightly into it, there was going to be a shorty ready and waiting. More smoke used. Tap, force them out into the open. No easy fights, no easy exits. That is Karmine Corp, sealing it up. Nice and pretty for map number 1, 13-8.
A bizarre opening to Masters Madrid, but it had some great moments.
FPX 7 out of 8 of their rounds taken in a streak.
Yeah, absolutely. Was going to set it to a